Finding work, saving money, and protecting natural resources. It sounds like a pretty admirable life's mission, doesn't it? Well, that's exactly what Susan Neisloss is doing with workingforgreen.net. It's a social movement to highlight everyday Americans who are doing something environmentally progressive without government or corporate help. Susan introduces us to an Iraqi vet turned green activist who, despite debilitating injuries that he suffered during war, he's making his mark and paying it forward.
When I got deployed to Iraq, I went with my heart in it. I gave up, being with my family. My daughter was just born maybe a month before I got deployed. I used to fly Apaches for the Army, and we went out and thought we had a good, successful maintenance test flight, and then we lost our tail rotor. We were at about 1,000 feet, and we fell out of the sky, basically. On impact, I broke my neck. I think it's important for people to be able to take care of themselves, to not depend on other entities. Sustainability is the way to go. This is a south-facing roof here, and we've already ordered the solar panels and stuff, so the house is gonna help me save energy, a lot of energy, a lot of money. I have a lot of people involved. They're actually volunteering. That's helping me out a lot.
The shades, he said basically you could cut out 97% of the sun coming in, so that should lower your air conditioning bill.
I like to be part of the team, I like to be involved. I like to know that I'm affecting their motivation, I'm motivating them to do a good job,
Look, we got 3 more eggs.
We have 8 hens. They're all producing eggs right now. We get about 3 or 4 eggs every day. It's free breakfast, Thanks to the goats, man, they eat, they fertilize the grass. Compost. That's probably the easiest thing you can do. So we're gonna fill it up with compost, grow our own vegetables, and eat them. We have artichokes over there and some lettuce. Learn to live off the land. Learn to depend on yourself. I hope I'm able to give an example. Maybe motivate people to at least think of small ways to sustain themselves, I'm not bitter. I'm happy. I'm happy with my wife and my daughter and this beautiful house that I have. Even if I'm in this condition, it doesn't matter.
Well, Army Chief Warrant Officer Juan Beltran sued and settled with that helicopter manufacturer after his Apache gunship lost that tail rotor on his maintenance test flight, that flight that left him paralyzed. Well, you just saw firsthand what he's doing with that money that he won. Juan and workingforgreen.net founder Susan Neisloss joining us live from Los Angeles this morning. I tell you what, Juan, I salute you for your strength and how you have rebounded. And I just want to know from you, what gave you the inspiration not to give up?
I have a 7-year-old daughter that inspires me on a daily basis. So I guess that's my inspiration there.
And Susan, what was it about Juan when you met him, when you heard about him, that inspired you to go out and do a piece and put it on your internet social movement?
Well, as you said, Kyra, we're all about finding people and dedicated to the belief that everyday Americans, all of us, can find ways to save money, very important, especially when people are out of work. Millions of people can't keep a roof over their head and don't have enough food to eat. It personally pains me. So we do a lot of research, and I found out through an acquaintance and going online about Juan, and it was such an incredible story. I wanted to see it firsthand. And we have done stories around the country, about 60 to date, about amazing individuals who are motivating and inspiring themselves, their community, and others. And it's just extraordinary because this is a wave of the future.
And Juan, you could have done anything you wanted with that settlement money, but you chose to do something environmentally progressive. You chose to make a difference, not only for you and your family, but for other people as well. Why?
It's the right thing to do. It feels like the right thing to do. I noticed that when you do something right, when you do something good, you tend to inspire others. And you know, I have neighbors that used to call us hippies, but now they're growing their own vegetables and stuff like that, you know, and they're asking more about solar panels and things like that. And I think that the best thing that you can do is provide an example for people to see. And I guess due to my condition, you know, people look at me and they think, wow, you know, how could you be that way? How could you be so positive? And I get that, and I feed on that, you know, and it's just it just keeps going, you know.
And
Well,
I wanna
you're a
say, Kyra,
remarkable
that-
human being. Go ahead, Susan.
I'm sorry, Kyra. I was so inspired by Juan and some of the other people I've met in various towns and cities across the country that I, too, have become a little bit more eco-savvy. And I must say, even though I was raised with a dad who grew his own fruits and vegetables, we didn't totally live off the land, but I was always inspired by nature. But meeting people like Juan, they've inspired me to turn off my lights, to unplug my appliances, and to even start composting. So it's about hope. It's about, in this world where we hear bad news every day, about providing some sort of example that people can follow and just take baby steps. It doesn't have to be a huge undertaking to improve your life.
That's so true. And Juan, thank you for what you've done for our country. Thank you for what you're doing environmentally. You're an incredible inspiration. And I can just imagine looking into the eyes of your 7-year-old daughter and not wanting to give up. I appreciate what you're doing so much. And Susan, workingforgreen.net, fabulous program that you've started. Thank you both so much this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kyra.
You bet. Oil cleanup workers living in those potentially toxic FEMA trailers